Yeah, actually, I've been coaching actors, everything from the smaller parts all the way through the series regulars, big features, even over Skype. I have several of my clients who are in Atlanta or London or Miami or wherever. So I do them Skype, or I also do them in person in the studio in Los Angeles. And you know what's interesting is that sometimes it's those 4-line parts that require more time than the big log series regular things. Like I worked with a client recently on one of those 4-line parts, and it was because most actors aren't trained to attack a 4-line, 3-line part. They're trained to attack a character with an arc and a whole thing, and you know how to prepare for that. You learn that in your technique classes, in your acting classes, but really nobody teaches you how to approach those small parts and nail them. And oftentimes when you're starting out, when you can nail those, those co-stars, that's when you're able to give the casting director confidence to be like, oh, well, if he can handle that, bam, I'm going to bring him in for something bigger. And so it's really important to be able to nail those smaller parts. And there are specific techniques to do that. It's really easy. The other way that this comes in really handy is sometimes you guys have to audition and you're talking to this character and that character, and then it cuts and you go to the next scene and you have 1 line there, and then you go to the next scene, you have 2 lines here, and it's really confusing. Do you ever get one of those auditions and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, and then you go in and whatever? Well, I know what to do with that because I was on the other side of the table as a casting director, and I'm a casting director, and I've done that for a zillion years. And so I know what's in the casting director's head when what they're expecting to see when you have one of those disjointed auditions that doesn't seem to flow. And I help a lot of actors in audition polish with that too. I actually did a really nice video that explains the whole program on my website, and you can go and access it at auditionpolish.com, and it explains everything on there. I may have an unpopular answer to this question. I love theater, okay? I love theater. Let me qualify that by saying I love good theater, okay? And I'm from New York, so I'm going to have a New York bias here. But I believe that theater in New York, for the most part, and I please don't send me a lot of hate mail about theater in Los Angeles. I haven't experienced the same quality of theater in Los Angeles as in New York. And so theater training, like, here's what happens. I'm just going to be totally real, okay? When you come in, or when we get your picture and resume, we're looking at it, and we look at training, we do, right? And if somebody's got some exceptional theater training or some really phenomenal theater, wow, that's a nice bonus. But if somebody doesn't, I'm not going to be like, oh, they have no theater training, right? It's really not about that. Will it enhance? Yes. Will it detract or keep you from getting something? I don't think so. However, what it'll do for you as an actor and your technique and your confidence, that's a whole other story. Good theater training, where you really learn how to break down a character and, and get in front of an audience and learn how to take in from the audience and let it inform your performance, and learning how to think on your feet and all that. I mean, hands down, no substitute for what you get from that kind of a training. But if you don't have that kind of a training, is that the only way you can get it? No. You can take an improv class. There's other ways that you can get that kind of thing, but I have a sweet spot for theater,